Hello, hello, hello.
Well, we can hear you just just fine and clear. And guys, again, if you haven't already put in the chat your name and where you're joining us from, go ahead and do that as we're going through the presentation. The floor is all yours, Art.
Thank you so much. I'm excited to be here with everyone and was seeing all the chat uh, locations and everybody's tenure with Archer and love to see that we got I feel like we have the whole country represented. So a little about me. I'm the head of sales and business development for RoomRes, and Archer is one of our great partners that we have. Some of you I may have met at the convention in Vegas a few weeks ago. If you weren't there, we'll be covering some of the things that we talked about in that session that we did. But I wanted to first just a little about my background so you can kind of understand where I'm coming from. I've been in the travel industry for um, more years than I care to mention from an age perspective. But I have been on both sides of the table. I've worked directly with clients. I've worked with agents and love every bit of it. Super passionate about travel. I've done everything from working on individualized itineraries, student travel, group travel, all things in between, and at some point in my career, pretty much all destinations. I've been blessed to be in the industry for quite a while, like I said, and also been even more blessed to have seen as much of the world as I have. So I say that not in a snooty way at all, but in a way that shows you, hey, you're in good hands when you're working with partners like us, and we are experienced. So whether you're just starting in the industry and just trying to get the train going down the tracks, or if you're quite seasoned and well established, we're here for all of it. We're here to be an asset for you. And tonight I want to show you our platform, RoomRes, and so that you can have another tool in your toolbox. And so I think everybody should be able to see my screen. Yeah,
Yes.
perfect. So in using RoomRes, RoomRes is used to book a multitude of things. Obviously, with a name like room in the title, you think of hotels, and we do lots and lots of hotels. We work with over a 500,000 hotels in the around the world. But in addition to that, we also have transfers to and from cruise ports, to and from airports. So if you're either incorporating that into an individualized itinerary, or if you're just doing pre-post additions to a cruise or something that you've booked, great for that. We also do attractions. Attractions are not only just admission tickets, but hop on, hop off buses, day tours from various locations, either within said city or just a day tour out of the city. We do car rentals as well as tours. The tours are pre-packaged tours, and we'll talk about those a little bit later. And I just need to readjust my screen so I can see the tabs here. But I wanted to take a moment to walk through the platform, show you how easy it is to utilize, and answer any questions. Feel free to put any questions that you have as we're going through in the chat. I'll stop periodically and we'll hit those up and make sure that we get that answered for you. And if I don't have, for whatever reason, an answer for you, I will be certain to get that answer for you in a very short amount of time. So when you log into Archer, this is the platform you're going to see. You're going to see your name over here. I'm just in a test account. Mike's obviously not my name. But this is what the layout's going to look like. And I wanted to just do a live demo of what you would experience. And so if there's hiccups, we're going to go through them together. And you'll be able to get a good grasp of what the system is like. So typically you start out with the hotel, and what we're going to do is show you this how the sort order works, how we show properties to you, show you how to build an itinerary, show you how to build a quote, and then we'll talk about the perks that come along with it as well. So starting out with hotels, like any search engine, you put in your destination. When you put in the city name, you're going to see all the different neighborhoods that are associated with that particular city. So if they're going to, uh, I just used London. If they're going here for touristic purposes, you're probably going to want to choose city center. Most of them will say either downtown or city center. And you can select that. I'm just going to choose some random dates in the future. So you put your dates in there. We'll see what the Christmas market is like in London. Here you can configure your room if you have one adult, two adults. If you have children, you can go with the more option and whatever room configuration that you need. You can put that in there and then you simply hit search hotels. Now, our sort order, so how we display hotels to you, is a little different. We're going to display them by what we feel is the best our recommendation to you. And that isn't always the lowest of price, but it's the best of value. So the biggest bang for your buck, where you're going to be able to show the clients a good savings, good value, but you're also still going to be able to make a great commission. So when the sort order pops up, the first thing that I recommend that you do is go ahead and use this star filter to kind of weed out some of the lower end properties because there's going to be everything in here. And if someone's coming to you as a travel advisor, a travel agent, they're going to want to know that they're going to have a great experience. And so if you don't weed out some of those, there's hostels in there for the backpackers, but someone that's coming to a travel agent probably don't want to share their bathroom and their shower location with a bunch of 18-year-old backpackers type of thing. I think you get what I'm saying. So when you put this in here, now you're going to see the sort order, and you're going to see all of the various hotels that come up for those specific days that have really good value in them. Now, over here on the right, you see two different rates. One rate is kind of grayed out, and then the other one is the Archer special rate. Well, this grayed out rate, this is the rate that if you or your client were to go online, like on Expedia, and look up this hotel on those dates, this is the rate that you're going to see because this is the rate that is out there for public. So it's a published rate for the public. This rate may or may not include the sales tax, and it may or may not have commission associated with it. If it does have commission, it's typically, not always, but typically going to be somewhere between 0 and about 6.5%. So that's that rate. This rate is the Archer special rate. So this is the rate that we're able to provide you as a member of Archer. And this rate does include the tax, and we actually pay commission on the gross, which is the room rate plus the applicable tax. And then you're going to get 11% of that as a commission. So you can see really good value in this property. And the reason why we use the destination instead of looking up a specific property is because a client may come to you and they may have already gone online and think, okay, I have like a $400 a night budget, and come to you with a hotel and like, hey, here's what I'm thinking. And that could be like a 3.5, 4-star property because that's what they're seeing in that $400 range. They wouldn't have even considered potentially a hotel like this, and you're still coming in well under that budget, but you're able to do that and put them in a 5-star property. So that's why we use the sort order and start with the destination. In addition to the sort order, a couple other things to point out. In the lower right hand of all of these pictures that the hotel has put in, you'll see a rating. These are verified customer ratings that we're pulling from Google reviews. So you can really put some stock in it because these have been verified and they are from actual customers. So to book a hotel, it's incredibly difficult. You have to click that button. I think everybody can do that. And when you do that, you're going to see the hotel amenities. You're going to see everything. Now, if you are booking in a destination like Vegas or the Caribbean, places that may have a resort fee, those would be listed here in the fee section. And then you come down to, you'll see some of the different room types, but if you scroll just a little bit further, you'll see all the rooms listed. And there's pages and pages and pages of these. To narrow this down, do the guests want breakfast? Do they want a flexible rate, which I recommend in the world that we live in, a non-refundable? Hotels are being incredibly difficult to get them to budge on that should that need to be canceled. With the flexible rate, you have a very generous cancellation policy that comes with it. And pay later. The pay later, we have book now, pay later available to you. And what that means is, so we had selected the early part of December for this particular test. And you can see we have 100 days before we had to pay it. Typically, it's about 10 to 15 days prior to arrival is when that payment would be due. And now over here, now you're seeing the total. So this is the total for all 3 nights. This is inclusive of the tax. This is inclusive of your commission. And you simply book this room. You put in the guest details. And you'll see the nightly rate over here. And remember, like the online rate was just under $600 a night. So here you're seeing that great value. You'll see the taxes in there and you'll see the total. This is what the customer would be paying for this stay. And then you see earned points. We'll talk about those momentarily as well. And you click proceed. Super, super easy. And then from this page, you can do multiple things. And so this is the start of the itinerary. So if it's like building blocks, this is the very first one. From here, you can click here and add a transfer to the hotels, whether it's coming from the cruise port or coming from the airport. You can do that in the opposite direction as well. The one thing I would note is you do need flight information before you can book the transfer because you are booking a specific time. And then you can also add attractions to this hotel. You click on add attraction to that hotel, simply put the city back in here. It'll automatically pull the dates, search attractions, and you're going to have pages and pages of different activities that you can do for the guest. So you got many cities have the explorer type passes. You have day tours outside of the city. You have attractions, the hop on, hop off bus, everything from food tours, walking tours, bike tours, afternoon tea in a place like London. All of those things are available to select. So I'm just going to select one for our demonstration purpose. The admission type activities, you'll have various degrees of what type of ticket do you want. And we'll select that. The one thing I do like about this is then it allows you to select which day do you want it to start on and put in the guest information. And what I was going to say, the one thing that I do like about it is the detailed descriptions that you get on these activities. You don't have to worry about trying to create content to provide the client. We're going to do that for you. And you have all of that at your disposal to use how you see fit. Same process, you put in the information and then you simply click proceed. This will put another block in that itinerary for you. And you can do this as much as you need for your itinerary, whether it's a weekend stay or whether you're creating if you're creating like a 2 week long trip and you want to also, okay, we've done London, now we want to go to York or we want to go to Edinburgh. You just simply click add another product and then you start that process starting with the hotel all over again. Any questions on this particular part? I have the chat window closed, so if you can help me out, Taina.
Yes, I'm here. Let's see. We didn't have any questions dropped in the chat yet.
Okay. Well, I will continue on. So again, if you have questions, throw them in there. We'll definitely get to them. The next step after building the itinerary, so cool of a feature. So one of the things that I'm sure you may have struggled with is how do you get all of this information in a consumable form to the client that's going to make sense to them and that it doesn't take you all week to put together. Well, once you build out the itinerary and you saw how quick that goes, here it says click here to see a one-click customer quote. So when you click here, this is going to open up a URL that you can share with your client. It's going to have your branding up here. It's going to automatically title everything based on the destination that you chose. It's going to automatically have the dates in there. It'll have some of the additional commentary. And this is interactive for them in the sense that once they come down here to look at the hotel, the client can click in there, look at the hotel, see if that's going to be what they like. They can see all of the different comments and around the amenities that are listed there. And the same thing for the activity. When they click on the activity, they'll have all of this information already at their fingertips. Again, saves you tons of time because you didn't have to put all this together. You didn't have to create this content. You didn't have to create some sort of a document or anything like that. And then there's a map that is interactive as well. So you can zoom in, see where the closest tube station is to the hotel, like see where they are in relation to the river, all of that fun stuff. And then they'll have a little tagline. Now, if we would have added the transfer, that would be listed here as well. And then this is a button. If they like it, they click here, they put their name and email, hit send. That sends you a message to say, hey, that guest loves that itinerary. You're right on track with what they want. So super, super handy and efficient from a time perspective. The other option, if you want to personalize it, so that's the one-click quote. Now, if you're willing to put in just a couple of minutes into it and you want to like personalize it, then you can go to create customer quote, and then you're going to have the ability to modify it a little bit. So if instead of just calling it London Escape, it could be Linda's London Getaway. You'll have the information about the hotel. You'll have activities here. If you had transfer, uh, you can include transfers to and from the airport. So anything in these blue boxes is what the guest will see on that version of the quote like we just watched or just saw. The other thing that you can do here is, would you like to display a total price? If you click yes, it's going to automatically do the math for you. So I don't know how many of you are fond of doing math, but we do it for you, so you don't have to. So you're going to see that total there for the itinerary that you built. This second one, I don't recommend using it because this is a line item price. And so, especially if you're just starting out in the industry, I would recommend that you don't give a line by line price description to your clients, regardless of what platform you're using, because in doing so, you're kind of giving them a shopping list and you're diluting your value that you're able to provide to them. You can change the tagline here. Uh, you can put whatever you want. Anything in the boxes, they're going to see. If it's not in a box, they won't see it. And here you'll have, do you want to display the Archer logo or do you want to display your own logo? And there's options to add other things in here too. So when you're collating all that, it's great to have everything in one place. So like if you, in addition to this, if you were going to sell them, say, travel insurance, you could put the name of the travel insurance company there, the date, description of coverage. You could just copy and paste that in there. You can put the price in here. So if you do put a price in here, it will add it up to the total that's at the top of the quote, which is good. And you can include the documentation or something like that, or anything else that you're selling outside of the platform. You could still use our quote for it. And then if you are doing the flights for them, you can put in the flight details as well. And then you simply generate quote. And the difference that you're going to see, you still get that URL. Once you click on the URL, now you still see the personalization that we put in. You see that total price of everything. And then that first item that we put in would be listed here, whatever that may be. You see the things that we already saw before. You still see the map, and then the flight information there populates at the bottom, and everything else works the same. So a really great, clean looking quote that can save you a bunch of time, keep everything there at the same place. So you don't have to have things in 14 different locations. You can have it all right in one place. And then once you're ready to, because we have the book now, pay later, you can always pay and confirm right now, today. You can just be on the pay and confirm, add new card, put in the client's details, pay and confirm booking. Alternatively, you can use the book now, pay later. And as you see, clicking now, you're confirm the booking and you're going to make the payment before November 10th. So what this does is lock in those rates, locks in the space, and everything you're able to put in that you wanted to put in the itinerary, it can all be confirmed. You simply hit confirm. No payment has been exchanged, but you're locking in those rates for the client. And not only are you doing that, you're actually getting the travel documentation that you're going to need. So if you're putting together like a travel document package for your traveler, you will have the vouchers for the products right here at the time of booking, making this reservation. So you're going to already have the reference number to fall back on. All of that's going to be already done just when you make this book now, paid later. Now, once you do that, it's going to move into the sales side. And so whenever you go in here at the reservations and sales, now I see everybody from Archers, but you're going to see just yours. And you see these top two lines are what we just did. And so they will live in here. You'll see that you need to make the payment. We'll send you a reminder as well to make that payment before November 10th. And then if the client comes back and says, hey, I no longer need that Explorer Pass, it's super, super easy to cancel a booking with us. The cancel booking is over here. You click that once and it's going to say, hey, are you sure? Just in case you put your elbow on your keyboard or anything like that. You're like, hey, just making sure. And once you confirm the cancellation, there's no emails, no phone calls, no carrier pigeons to deploy. It's done. No other action is needed, and we will cancel everything for you. The other thing that's here is we will remind you when payment is due, and we'll be able to take care of that for you. I'm going to go ahead and cancel this because we are in the live environment. And well, one thing I will show here, the submit inquiry. If you have notes to put on something that you made, like, hey, the client is traveling with a CPAP and they need distilled water. Here in this submit inquiry, you can hit the edit and you'll have the ability to put in some comments or questions or statements in here. Hey, can we get a room away from the elevator? Can we get an accessible room? Whatever the need may be, you can put that right in here, and this goes straight to our operations team. Any questions so far?
Well, again, guys, go ahead and drop your questions in the chat. I did drop one in there
Okay.
personally. Is there an option to send clients payment links once you've reserved the package? And is there an option to set up schedule automated payments?
The quick answer to both of those is no. So with us, whenever you are making the payment, now we give the flexibility of the book now, pay later, but whenever the payment is being made, it needs to be made in whole. And that needs to go through you, because the reason we're able to provide this, like, that's a pretty drastic change in rate from the general public. The way we are able to provide that rate is to guarantee that no one's going to have access to this platform except for a travel agent. And so therefore, any customer links or something like that would technically be accessible to the platform. And with our partnerships, we say that's not going to happen. So the good part about that is that means the relationship with your client remains 100% your relationship. And so you're able to navigate that relationship as you see fit, and you're able to keep in charge of all the communication that's happening with said client and know what's going what is going down with them. Any other questions in there currently?
I don't see any more.
Okay. So we talked about the home and making the itinerary. Once you do that, it lives in the reservations and sales. If you are working on an itinerary, like you started building it like we were, but you don't finish it, it will live in the itinerary section. Once you make a quote, it lives in the quote screen. And so if you need to go back and reference, hey, what did I send X guest, you'll be able to see the quotes that you've made and refer back to them as needed. The next thing I wanted to, before I talk about rewards, so with this booking, the booking side of things, one of the things we announced at the annual convention that's super exciting is our platform also is now optimized to work on your phone. Whether you're like Taina and at the club making a booking, or going down the road in the car, sitting on an airplane, as long as you have a cell phone connectivity, you're able to use the platform on your cell phone as well. And it now flows seamlessly, and it's super quick. And if you were at the conference, you may remember the contest that we did. We gave away a hotel booking for a specific particular hotel of whoever booked it the quickest, and it was booked pretty stinking quickly. So as you use the platform more and more, it's going to become more and more familiar. And there's other tools, little tips and ways of doing things that will be helpful to you to expedite, save you time. One of the other perks is the rewards component. So when you are logged in, you can go to that rewards tab there at the top, and you can read this for yourself. I won't read it to you, but I will talk about just down here. So when you're making the bookings, when you first start out working with us, you get 1 point for every $2 paid. And then the more bookings you make, the quicker you earn points. Now, what can you do with those points? Well, you can use them towards anything within the RoomRes platform. The idea is that you're using them for you. These aren't guest rewards. These are your rewards for the work that you're doing. And one of the other incredible things that just doesn't happen, not only in the travel industry, but in the world we live in, these points don't expire as long as you're continuing to book within the platform. So you can book a book, and save up these points and use them for your own holiday yourself. And whether it's a tour package, whether it's just a weekend getaway, use these points for yourself as you continue to accumulate them. So that is the idea of the points. And when it says per booking, it's not per itinerary. So every element within said itinerary is considered a booking. And then we saw the other elements that are here, the tour packages. I want to highlight those for you. And if you click in the destination section, you'll see all the destinations that we cover, various tours, package tours. Now, depending on what you're looking for, whether it's a city break type of an experience that's like 3 to 5 days in a specific city that you want to do, those are in here. If it's joining a small group, a micro group of say 10 to 12 people, some of those are in here. If it's a self-drive type of tour that the clients are wanting, those are in here, and it would include the car and all of those things. Or maybe you have some of those higher end clientele that are looking for a tour that's guided, that they're going to be driven around and taken care of. Those are in here too. And you can click on the country, select when you want to go, whether it's this year, next year. There are already some 2026 itineraries loaded in here. And you'll see in the title, you can kind of see what type of tour it is. So if it is private or self-drive or small group, you'll see that listed in the title. The incredible thing about these is, again, the time savings that you're going to have, because the day by day all the inclusions are already written out. The day by day is already done. And so these are ready to hand off to the guest. Hey, here's your program. And you'll see all the inclusions and everything here. So they typically will include like your airport transfers, a series, depending on the tour, a collection of tours and activities, any transportation that's needed to get from place to place, whether it's a train or a river cruise or however, a ferry, those types of things. Those are generally included when necessary for the tour. But really solid itineraries and at an exceptional value. Now, they're typically in that 4-star type of a quality of hotel. But they, when you go to book them, many of them also, and this one doesn't, but many of them also have the opportunity to even upgrade to a higher end hotel as well. So those are going to be super useful for you and hopefully a great asset to you. One of the things that, so I used to train new people coming in to be a travel advisor, and destination knowledge is always the most difficult thing to teach. But you can use these, find a country that you're not familiar with, and read through the itinerary and kind of get a feel. But you can also use that itinerary as a way to feel comfortable about what you're actually selling. We partner on all of these destinations. We partner with a company called TUI. That's the world's largest tour operator. And we have chosen these destinations specifically because they have an office in each of these destinations. So we have boots on the ground. So should anything happen, you can know, hey, we have people there and we're going to be able to help out with whatever situation is needed. In conjunction with that, our our company is headquartered in Sydney. And so that's literally halfway around the world, right? The beauty of that is we also have people here in the US. The beauty of being on both sides is we're able to provide you 24-hour coverage when you need support. Because if you've been in the industry longer than about 7 days, you've probably had a client call you at some point in a panic. And that gets your own anxiety built up because you have their best interest at heart and you want to make sure they're taken care of. And you need that reassurance that you're not alone. Well, as long as you're using RoomRes, you aren't, because 24/7, you pick up the phone and you dial the number that's listed there. A RoomRes employee that's a member of the support team is who's going to be answering that call. Doesn't matter what day of the week, what time of day. And that support team, that's their entire job. We have a team of them here in the US and we have a team of them in Australia. They're there to help you with any bookings that you have. Now, if you have questions before a booking's actually made, I'm your guy. Come to me and I'll help you work through how to build the itinerary, best way to do X, Y, and Z, things of that nature. But once the booking's made, you're going to want to reach out to the support team, because once the booking is made, I'm going to have to go to them too. And so just to expedite it for you, just take out the middleman in that case and go straight to them. So if it's not urgent and you can wait 24, 48 hours, email it over to them and they'll get back to you, typically within hours. If it is something urgent, like your client is needing something went wrong, pick up the phone. We're here. Call us. That's what we're there for. And have that assurance that you're being heard and someone's there to help you along the way. Because there's absolutely nothing worse for a travel advisor than to need help and not be able to reach someone to get it. Like, that feeling is the worst, because you feel like you're letting your guests down, and you're in this industry to create dreams for people to make a reality. And that's what you're essentially doing. And we're here to help you do that. And so that is that contact info, whether it's email or a number, is under the contact us button. Any more questions, Taina?
Okay, so we actually did get a couple in.
Yes.
Styla's asking, are RoomRes rates always lower than published rates?
I would be lying if I said always, because always is a very definitive line of demarcation. So no company is always the lowest on everything. We are always competitive. One of the things that I have also learned as I continue to go across the country and call and have meetings with different travel advisors is those random obscure places, like in the middle of nowhere. You're able to find them on here when you can't find them anywhere else. And then some of those that are not so obscure, literally yesterday. So I'm on the road. I'm in a hotel room, if you can't tell. And so I'm up in Portland doing some visits, and I was with one of the folks that we work with yesterday, and it was a Disneyland property in Tokyo that they're like, I can't find it on I won't name any other businesses. I can't find it on A, B, C, or D. And I'm like, well, let me just look. I'm like, well, we have it. And she booked it before at literally as I was walking out the door. She booked it. And so even though so that I mean you can't call Disney obscure. But there's also so many other little just random places, especially domestically. But it happens around the world. I see it almost every day where they're able to find things that they couldn't find otherwise. So there is that. We're not always the lowest. Most of the time we are. Like you saw that's why I like doing it live when we were doing that hotel search. Like I just scrolled through that first screen. I don't remember what date I chose, so this probably won't be the same date. I think I did early December.
It was like the 9th through the 13th or
Oh,
something
so
like that.
week before now. Um, because I was trying to do something that usually is expensive because the Christmas markets will be starting during that time in Europe. The uh, what did I do? I clicked. Oh, here we go. We'll just scroll down just a little bit to see if we are. So that one's like 250 less. That one's like 200 less. Call it 200 less. 140, 230, 100, 150, 100. There's a close one. That one's only like $50 less per night. Uh,
Hey, it all matters.
but we're still, I'm scrolling to see if I can find one where we're not lower. Um, just to show that we're not. I promise you we're not 100% lower. Um, but as you can see, like we've scrolled through what 30 hotels and we were well, I think it's 25 per page. So we scrolled through 25 and we didn't see one. But I promise you we're not always the lowest, but you can kind of see more times that overwhelming majority of the time we're going to be the better rate. And even if this one is really close, relatively speaking, it's like 20 bucks difference. Even if these were reversed and this one was the 368 and this one was the 346, if you booked this, you're going to get 6% commission. Well, it's 6.5%. Even at that lower rate for 20 bucks, if this one was the 368, you book that, you're getting 11%. So you have to also think, is it worth charging, at that point, because they're dropping $2,000, $5,000 on a London weekend. Are they going to be bothered by an extra 20 bucks? That's literally going to make the difference of doubling your commission. Does that make sense?
And that was a great question. Okay, let's move on to the next one. Do the points have an expiration time? I believe you're referring to the reward points.
Yeah, as long as you continue to book, they do not. You can stack them, and save them up, make a ton of bookings over the course of the year, and then go on your own holiday for free, essentially, by using your reward points. And there's also no blackout dates.
Oh, okay, awesome. So there's another question. Will you be adding other destinations such as Australia?
Um, are you talking about for the package tours? Because all of these other things are worldwide. So we work with about over 500,000 hotels. Our transfers we have in little over 21,000 locations. Our attractions we have in over 15,000 locations. car rentals around the world. The tours are the only thing that is currently limited by a destination. Is that what
Yes,
you're?
and she did specify that she's referring to the tours.
Yeah, we're always reviewing that. Right now, we chose these destinations based on this is where our partner is actually located. And so this is where they have an office on the ground. And so yeah, absolutely. Like this is a relatively new venture for us. So if you've been with Archer for say a couple of years and you haven't used this since then, this will be new to you. So this is something new, and we're definitely always looking at opportunities to grow. But for Australia, not for the package tours currently, but you can absolutely build your FIT type of a package with the hotels, transfers, and attractions in Australia.
Okay, thank you. Okay, then we have another question. I'm gonna group the other two that I see. I'm gonna group those together after this one.
Okay.
So this one says, do your itineraries automatically upload to Travelfy? And I know a lot of agents use TravelJoy. So any of the CRMs that are widely used by agents, I guess I would tack that on to the question.
No, the way the like the quotes that we that we went through here tonight, like that's just going to be a URL that you can send straight out to the clients. Now, once you also do a quote, they are in such a format that allows you see the Facebook icon over here on the right. They are in such a format that you can actually, like if you built a sample quote or someone had a great trip and you were wanting to share that type of trip to show the types of things you can do, this Facebook icon, when you click on it, it will go straight to as long as you're logged in to your Facebook, it will go straight here and post that particular quote. The picture will upload. I just have my settings on my Facebook wonky. Um, so, and you can write a description. Hey, here's what I just did for Bob. Um, let me know if you like that. Like if you're wanting to advertise using social media, things like that, you do have the Facebook icon there. And you can post, it lets you post right to social media like that. But as far as talking to some of the other, no, we don't have an API with any of those functions.
Okay, that was actually a great question. So the other questions that I see, so we have an agent on the line who says they have points from last year that they did not use, and they're gone, so they can't see their points anymore. And then the other one was, can you provide your contact information? So maybe they can reach out to you and get some assistance on that.
Yeah, so if you had points previously, so the not expiring was new for starting this spring. And so if you used us previously, you're not going to like the answer. It sucks. You can whoever asked that, email me and I can go back and review and see if there's something that we can do. But know that the likelihood is very, very slim just because the old format they used to expire. But we're just looking at ways of how we can better reward you for the work that you do. And that's when we changed the way that we were doing rewards this year. My contact information, absolutely. So if you lose my contact information that I'm going to give you, you can always send it here and just address it to me, and that will get to me. But my email is art@roomres.com. Just like this says the us.support@roomres, mine is art@roomres.com. On your what do you say, in-house, the Archer platform where you see all
Back office.
back office. Yeah, everybody's Why can't we all just use the same definition? In the back office, my contact information is already in there on the Archer page, in the Archer back office on the RoomRes page as well. But it's art@roomres.com. Feel free to email me at any time. Uh,
Then we did get another question, Art.
yeah,
Can we post quotes or just bookings? And I think you're referring to the Facebook post, but clarify if you are not, please. Oh, yes, she shook her head. Yes. Okay, I saw you.
yeah. Absolutely you can. I mean, we didn't really get into it here. I didn't want to get too deep in the weeds and confuse people that just joined yesterday type of thing. Um, yeah, so within our system, you can actually create marketing templates. And do we have time?
Yeah, we have a couple minutes.
Okay, I'll go quickly. We'll go back to London since we've spent the whole night there. And we'll go through here. This is not for everybody. So I can appreciate that, but just to better answer the question of whoever asked that, I don't know who asked it. When you're going in here and once you're already in the hotel function, instead, when you're ready to book the room, so you click on the book this room. Instead of putting the guest information here, there's a line right here. Everybody can see that. I was trying to highlight it. And then you just click that little box and go through the process. And it still looks like you're building an itinerary because you are, but it's just not tied to a specific person. And then so you could build like a weekend in London type of thing, or a weekend in Vegas, or a week-long trip to, and you can put together different itineraries and you save them. Once you have everything in here, you just finalize the template. I'm not going to do it in here because I'm in a live Archer account. You finalize the template and then you can share that template on your social media. And then when someone says, hey, that's awesome, I want to do that, you come to your view only templates. I don't know if there'll be, oh, there are some. Oh, that's the one I'm making. Duh. Um, Sorry, no offense to the blondes out there, but I had a blonde moment. Um, Someone saying, hey, I love that, let's do it. You just go in here, pull up the itinerary, and you see everything that's listed there. And we have a tool called the duplicator. So it duplicates that itinerary, and that you still have your template. So your template will forever be there. Do they want to keep the same dates? Do they want to use different dates? Like, oh, I love that week in Vegas, but I can't go that week, but I can go the following week. You come in here, put the new dates, put their information here, all the necessary info that's being asked, and start building the itinerary, and it'll book it for, or you'll be ready to book and confirm everything for them. Another tool for your toolbox. So just gives you a way to be able to be out there on social media. This duplicator is also good when you have like multiple couples traveling together. So you build everything out for one and then just duplicate it and put the new names in, and you just saved yourself like 6 hours worth of work.
Yeah, that's amazing. Anything that makes life a little easier, not just for us, but for our clients. So Christine is the one that asked that question originally. She said that's lovely. And then, oh, Christine also asked the other question about the itineraries on a Travelify, and she also had said thank you about, oh no, sorry, that was Brenda, had said thank you earlier about the tours for Australia. So I just wanted to make sure you were aware of that.
Perfect.
Couple more individuals saying that's a great feature. Yes, we love Art, as you know, you've been on a couple different sides of the travel industry. We love convenience, okay? So I did put Art's email in the chat, guys. So go ahead and grab it there. Again, it is in the back office. So you go to your back office, to the supplier portal and room res. You can find all the contact details there as well, and in the travel cafe. So this recording, and I'm gonna go ahead and stop it. I don't see any more questions.